Yes, job people, this is Michael Shamaya representing. I will say, hear the lion voice, saying it is time for the lions and the lionesses to tell their own story. King David killed Goliath with a stone, we original dread.
The fittest of the fittest shall survive. My people, open your eyes. Wake up. Blessed love, this is Queen Omega representing for all lions and lionesses. With the lion's voice, we come to tell our story. Rastafari, live it. Hey, the lion's voice, Rastafari.
Because I'm first generation in the U.S., born in the U.S., right? I've always been used to being by myself, right? Like I always used to, as a child, I used to always want an older brother or some cousins because, you know, I used to get all the jokes. I don't know if I used to get them jokes, you know, you live in a tree and banana boat and coconut.
I grew up in Toronto where literally every black person was Caribbean. We didn't even have African Americans, you know.
It was the same in Brooklyn. To come to find out, the same ones who was calling me banana boat, they parents was from the Caribbean too.
Okay.
The year is 1892, and the land of Ethiopia has been experiencing 4 years of terrible famine and drought. They call it the Kikuken, or the evil days. At least 1/3 of the human population and 90% of the cattle have died. The hyenas have feasted on so many carcasses that they have become overweight and barely able to move. Just when the people could take no more of the evil days, a woman named Wasiro Yeshimabet is giving birth in a place called Erjersa Gora. This is her 9th attempt to bring forth new life. Her previous 8 attempts only resulted in death. Will this child live? Thankfully, a healthy baby boy is born. His first cries are drowned by thunder and lightning flashes across the night sky. The heavens open up and torrential rain starts to fall. Ethiopia's drought is over, and the baby boy is given the name Tafari, meaning one to be feared or respected. Ras Tafari's father, Ras Tafari, is a very important man in 1892 Ethiopia. Although he is overjoyed at the birth of his newborn son, he cannot spend much time with him. Ras Tafari is the governor of Harar and must get back to the famous walled city to deal with its affairs. Furthermore, he is the foreign minister of Ethiopia, and having traveled to different places in Europe, he is very aware of the material and military advances they have made and the looming threats they pose to his country. Ras Tafari knows that the majority of Ethiopians have no idea what is coming, and that he has to work that much harder to secure the realm. Ras Tafari would grow up to become the legendary emperor, Haile Selassie I. To understand his journey, we must first understand the Ethiopia that he was inheriting, and what it was like when he was born in 1892. Get your copy of Kwasi Bansu's book, Haile Selassie I, Ethiopia, Volume 1, The Rise of the Priestly Warrior Kings, and increase your knowledge about the history, politics, and culture of Ethiopia in 1892, and how it connects to the rest of African and world history at the time. Haile Selassie I, Ethiopia, Volume 1 is available for purchase at www.bookmanexpress.pub. Please visit for more information.
I'm here with one of the promoters who made this event happen. We're here at the Lalabella Institute. The brethren I have is one of the workers in the vineyard. We're going to hear about some of the works. Yes, I'm here with one of the workers in the vineyard of Rastafari. We have some fire angels that go into hell to do the works of His Majesty. We're going to hear about them works that the brethren is doing. Special classification of angels for do them works there. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about I-Ras. You see him here, brethren. One of our brethren in the Atlanta region. We're going to go through the history and really see, went to a HBCU like I myself, you know, from the Caribbean like I myself. So we have a lot to reason about. Tell us about where I was born and I journeyed to Rastafari.
Well, you know, someone asked me the other day how long I've been a Rasta. And anytime people ask me that, I always say ever since. Because you know, that's the answer Bob had said, right?
Yeah.
But I really started trotting it around 18 years old once I went to college.
Yes.
You know, so I was actually born in Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, you're born in Brooklyn?
I was born in Brooklyn, but both my parents are from Trinidad.
Yes.
And so they met in Trinidad. And then they, you know, like the migration of all that was going on back in the late 60s, early 70s. They all came to New York, and that's where I was born. So every summer, all the other children going down south in South Carolina, Georgia, or they going on, I was going further south to Trinidad. So every summer I was in Trinidad. That's what the vibes was, you know? It was a beautiful thing growing up in Brooklyn, because you would think it was like a concrete Caribbean, you know? Because everybody around you was from an island or Caribbean. So Caribbean culture is very strong and thick in Brooklyn.
What part of Brooklyn?
Brownsville.
Brownsville.
Crown Heights originally is where I was born, and I grew up in part of Crown Heights, and then Brooklyn was another part of my childhood, Brownsville. And then from there, then we moved to Jersey. We moved to Teaneck, New Jersey.
Growing up, I used to go to Ocean Parkway and church.
Okay.
That was my family lived there. We used to go every Labor Day, not for the parade, but shopping.
It's Eastern Parkway.
Yeah. So
Eastern Parkway.
Ocean Parkway.
You know. True.
It's called Ocean Parkway where we were, which is about a few blocks up from Flatbush.
All right.
And then, so when I hear a place like Brownsville, Crown Heights, these are not just regular, these are notorious neighborhoods. What was that like growing up for the eye in terms of, you know, was it inner city tension? Was it, you know, what kind of environment?
Well, you know, when you're young, and that's all you know, you didn't really know it was, you know, you was living amongst the wolves, you know what I mean? So you learn to adapt, and children are really resilient, you know what I mean? And they're able to adapt to different environments. So growing up in Brooklyn was a beautiful thing. I'll be honest, it was like, you know, especially being a 70s baby, and the music and the culture, the Caribbean culture in Brooklyn, but also mixed with the hip hop and American culture, because you know hip hop was
the uprising.
That was the uprising, exactly. You know, the early '80s. I'm 10 years old, 11 years old, 12 years old in the early '80s, and I'm, you know, all into hip hop. You know what I'm saying? From the time I was in Brooklyn, it was all in hip hop.
That explains your connections in the music industry, hip hop. You were in that. You grew up in the whole energy. Yeah,
well, you know, growing up in that whole energy as far as being around hip hop, but you know, if it wasn't for the Caribbean, hip hop would not be what it is now. You know what I'm saying? When you talk about Cool Herc, coming from Jamaica and bringing that sound system vibes, and just the whole, you know, rhyming with the number chapter, you know what I'm saying? So it was a beautiful thing, you know what I'm saying? Growing up during that time, because a lot of ones, you know, you don't know you're growing up in a special time until it's born.
Yes.
But yeah, it was really good.
Serious. So, Caribbean culture. Trinidad is the foundation, and you know, I see how rooted there is in Trinidad. Speak to that connection with Trinidad. Were you going back and forth as a youth, or what was that?
Every summer up until I was like in 11th grade. You know, every summer it was back and forth to Trinidad, back and forth to Trinidad. Didn't really appreciate love Trinidad until I got older. Because, you know, you go to Trinidad, I'm thinking about my friends in New York and what they doing, or my friends in Jersey. But Trinidad is definitely a special place, and it's a blessing that, you know, I always feel grateful. I'm like, I'm so glad that my family comes from an island, because I will always hop on a plane and then I'm home, and it's beach, and it's mangoes, and it's coconut, and it's all this coming from the tree, you know what I'm saying? So I just it's a blessing coming from a place that's so cold and concrete and hard, like a place like New York.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then being able to free up and go there. But Atlanta, you know, that's really the spot.
Well, this is where we're gonna come now. 18 years old, young virgin. The eye had not sighted up far at this time in terms of the outward manifestation.
Right.
So I'm assuming now you get accepted into university.
Yeah, I got accepted into Clarkland University.
Okay.
Right? And that's when I ended up applying to 3 schools. It was Hampton, Clark, and Morris Brown.
And he didn't apply to Howard University, so I don't know what a virgin really saying right now, family. I don't know.
Let me tell you, my experience at Howard, when I went to Howard, and that McDonald's that's right down the street from Howard, somebody had brethren, somebody got shot at that McDonald's.
In them days, family, Howard was real, and they were real ghetto.
The days were serious, the days were serious.
Now the gentrification, but them time, it was real. All right, so you got accepted into Clark, Atlanta. What was it like moving from Brooklyn or Jersey to Clark, Atlanta?
Clark, well, because I'm first generation in the U.S., born in the U.S., right? I've always been used to being by myself, right? Like I always used to, as a child, I used to always want an older brother or some cousins, because, you know, I used to get all the jokes. I don't know if I used to get them jokes, you know, you live in a tree and banana boat and coconut.
I grew up in Toronto, where literally every black person was Caribbean. We didn't even have African Americans, you know.
It was the same in Brooklyn. To come to find out, the same ones who was calling me banana boat, their parents was from the Caribbean too.
Okay.
What do you have to tell the people about Ras Tafari?
Light to the world. The king of kings and the conquering line of the tribe of Judah. And left himself, virtual ruler. Hey yo! Hey, hail them high, hail the black king on the 23rd of July. So tell them guy who praise God up in the sky, it's a lie. The Almighty living on your night. From ancient time them a try. Them Romans know them just open them suit and ties. Criminals ain't got no alibi, they stole my people. Then them come without them genocide.
Are you talking about slavery?
Them couldn't kill the lion way come conquer Judah tribe. Go through tribulation, I strive, see sufferation, I still rise. That's why we tell them in America, live Rastafari in every ghetto area. We come to tell them in Toronto, straight to Ethiopia, them youths them want go. Look how we tell them in Jamaica, I listen, I see the Almighty Creator. So then we tell all the youths in Rome, only one man can sit up on David's throne. From ancient time, them prophesies about how the Almighty would arise. Some say him would have come from the sky. Someday, some people love it, tell the people pure lies. From ancient time, them a try make you believe you can't see heaven till you die. They told you that heaven's in the sky. Come to tell them you've been tricked by the lies. Come to tell them that the devil wearing a disguise, acting like a holy man, a planning evil enterprise. Blessed bombs and gas from sky. Come with cash, couldn't buy Rastafari. Cause he's the head without fear. Mussolini don't try, test him, hang him up in the square. So me tell them in Italy, I see mean powers of the Trinity. And then we tell them in London, I see higher than the Queen of England. And then we tell them in Trinidad, I see I am higher than the sky god. That's when we tell all the youths in Rome, don't figure them locks long, no more scissors and combs. Hey yo, the people them searching for the truth, so me tell them, said them got to seek it from the root. Tell the ghetto youths, watch real close, who design on the nose, guns where you shoot. King David's line, we salute Tafari, born 1892. Ask them who built the OAU. At this power, show you what our father do. Rob a bubble and I see them wrinkle and smooth. When them see the word in a of the prophecy.
Are you still talking about
Tell
the
we
Bible?
come to tell them our point of view worldwide.
Worldwide.
We must survive cool, yeah. Well, what is written if you come true is we don't record with King Selassie I
heard
do.
Selassie I died.
And the better my kingdom can't prove, so me tell them Babylon say them fi move.